Oh god, it's so nice when they go together. I would have said half of them actually joined up nicely. These are oat hoops. So the problem with oat hoops, they're bent, they're funny shapes. So it is a bit of a challenge. But yeah, so that's the last one. So the hoop to hoop connectors are all in place. It doesn't look too bad down through the peak. So I'll get these two tightened up. And then once these are tightened up, I can then start putting in the ridge purlin. And that shouldn't be too bad. But I'm not going to hold my breath. We'll have to wait and see on that. A beautiful day. Unfortunately, I'm having to work facing the sun so the camera can see what I'm doing. But never mind. It's a nice day. Sun's out. Music playing in the background. That's the last two. tube the purlin with the tractor bucket, bent it. I'm trying to be careful. Obviously I'm just not careful enough. But straightened it out. I'll leave that ratchet strap on there for now. But yeah, I'm trying to be so careful getting close. I guess a little too close. But anyway, that's straightened that out. I'll just leave it on there. That'll be okay. But, teach you a lesson, doesn't it? Trying to be too clever, too smart, too close to everything. Anyway, that's a fair bit brought in, so I've raked that by hand. I'm going to put this down now for a while. I think I'm going to go and have some lunch. Morning! -5 this morning. So I think, yeah, it's the first hard frost. We've had a couple of -2s, -3s, but -5 this morning. Very little breeze. So we're going to get Polly on today. But before that, I'll give you a bit of a catch up. I can't remember what I videoed, what I didn't video. I was just
it's your age, Gary.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not my age. It's just I want to get on and get things done. Anyway, so we'll give you a quick catch up. So everything's ready. Where are we going to start? Okay, so let's look up first. So all purlins and everything, obviously all attached, bolted down. It's a little pointy on the peak. So I put butyl liner over the peak, over the bolts, and then just tape them on. It doesn't look pretty, but it does a really good job. It helps the poly, because that's the biggest rub point for the poly, is right at the peak. So that's been done all the way down through. Door at this end is actually not a door. We've decided not to put a door on. It's going to be a big vent. So it'll be a hinged vent, hose size, probably going to split it in half. So split that, and then we'll have 2 vents here. And then obviously the rest of it's going to be poly. Don't need a door up that end. I see no reason that we're going to be walking in and out of there. Now at the other end, if Julie turns around, the other end we have our 4-foot wide door, and then we have a square above. Now I'm going to put a exhaust fan in there on a thermostat. So we're hoping with the big vents at one end and then that at the other, that'll pull the hot air out and the cool air in. but that's for a later day. At the moment, all we're going to try and do is get the poly on. All the boards around the bottom have all been secured. It's been rough raked, rough leveled, so we're pretty well ready to go. So if I'm going this way, you coming this way? So I made it. Hang on, just try that
again.
Try that again, shall I? I forgot. Here we go. At least I didn't fall on my face. So I made a bit of a start last night, got things ready. So this is a double poly. So with double poly, we put 2 layers of poly on, and then we inflate the middle, which gives us an insulation, as much as an insulation as you're going to get.
It's almost like a bit of a balloon.
Yeah, it is a bit of a balloon. So there's one thing I've learned over the years is don't put the poly on too tight. Because if you put the poly on too tight, you can't inflate it. You want ideally I like about a 6 to 8 inch inflation between the 2 layers of poly. Typically, we used to just use, and certainly when we were in the UK, we used to just use one layer of poly, and we used to put it on super, super tight. So we wait for a really hot, warm day, throw the poly over the top of the hoops, let it warm up, and then we'd stretch it as much as we could. If it stretches and it sits really tight on the poly, we'd get no friction and it lasts a decent amount of time. We used to get about 5 to 7 years out of our 6mm poly. This is 6mm. So the outer level layer is straight 6mm. The inner layer is what they call a IRAC sheet. So it's got an anti-condensation, anti-drip layer, which will make sure is on the inside. It doesn't stop it, but it certainly helps. And
but there's nothing worse, is there, than walking in on a frosty morning and then the sun gets to it, and then it's just like a rain.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it can be. But what it tends to do is it stops the droplets. It forms more of a film and it just runs down the poly. So it doesn't tend to drip quite so bad. But as Julie said, if you get a frosty or when the sun hits the tunnel and it's frozen or it's snow on it and it starts to melt, yeah, it can be a bit like walking into the Amazon rainforest, actually. So we're going to roll out the Mypex because obviously I don't want to be dragging the poly on the sandy dirt. Made that mistake in the past as well, because obviously we have to pull that up over. So that one goes on, and then once that one's on and over, we don't attach it. And then we have the second sheet, which is just the 6mm, which is the one at the back here. We pull that one out, and then once they're both pulled out, one goes over, the next one will go over, and at that point we will then secure them to the track which is running around the bottom of the framework. So if Julie comes this way, so we have a double grip track on the ends. So the 2 layers of poly that we're putting on today will go into this first one. And then the second one we'll use when we put the poly on the ends. And then all along the bottom, again, if Julie scans down, if she follows that all the way along, it's grip track. And then the 2 layers of poly gets sandwiched in there. I'll get you a piece of wiggly wire. So for want of a better term, we call this wiggly wire. And this will actually grip the poly, and I'm not going to show you now, you'll see it as I'm doing it. It's really solid, and as long as you put it in, you're careful you don't cut the poly, and it'll hold it there forever. So we're going to make a start.
Sorry, I'm just looking at...
What are you looking at? Oh, my bent purlin. Yeah.
It's still bent, Gary.
No, I know. I put the... I sort of nudged it with the tractor bucket. I think it was in one of the videos. I nudged it upwards quite a long way. So I put a ratchet strap on it, pulled it down, but it keeps wanting to spring back up. But it's better than it was. Yeah.
It's a good job there wasn't any audio to
Yeah,
that
there was no
video.
audio. Luckily, there was no audio when I hit it, because you definitely wouldn't have wanted to hear what I said about that.
Okay,
that was definitely X-rated.
So we're going to get on now then.
Yeah, let's get on.
You holding it down, Willow?
Willow's holding the Mypex down for me, so just ground cover sheet. I'm gonna roll this out. If we were on grass, if we had decent grass around beside the tunnel, I wouldn't bother with this. But we've already told you, it's really sandy and gritty. I don't want that on the poly. Shepherd, go away. So I've cut the out, obviously taking the ends off. This is always the most nerve-wracking bit. It's cutting this off the... Oh, hang on, saying that, the tape's actually letting go for a change, which is better than risking sticking the knife through it. Apart from this little bit here. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay, so this is always the most nerve-wracking bit. Make sure you've pulled enough out that'll reach either end and give you a little bit of spare, but don't cut it too damn short. So here we go. We should be good. This is a 100-foot roll. The tunnel actually turns out to be 52 feet, so we should be good. But I want to leave a little bit of spare, so try and cut it as square as I can, because we're going to need it for the ends. So normally we'd leave that in the sun to warm up if we were doing single skin, but it doesn't matter as it's a double.
And the wind is picking up.
The wind's picking up. A little bit of breeze actually helps usually, just to get it over. This one shouldn't go over too bad. The next one will be the challenge, because what happens is the next one tends to stick to the first one. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, we'll see. So you never know when you unroll this which is going to be the inside face. I like to pull the poly from the outside up over, and then we will try and unfold it a little bit, but luckily this has worked out just right, because I can pull the very bottom sheet. It will unfold. There's the bottom. So typically we go through and we just try and unfold back of the sheet a little. This has got to go right up over the peak of the tunnel. Now the first bit's easy because we've unfolded it. It becomes challenging when we get the folded piece at the bottom, and then it becomes quite heavy. There's only the two of us. Now if this was a single skin ordinary poly, I'd do it on my own. And I've done it many times, but because of this Iraq coating, it's a little more sticky. So let's get this untangled. As soon as you hit the sunshine on this, you can feel it. It becomes really pliable quite quickly. Mm-hmm. So that's why normally we would leave it in the sun. So that's that side unfolded. Now I will go through and just try and take a couple of the folds out of this as well. All right, let's go. Julie's on the scaffold. So I'm going to pass up this outside to her. And she's at this stage just going to hold it. She's not going to do anything else. She's not going to try pulling. She's going to hold it there for me. I just work up the tunnel a little ways. Okay, you can walk over a bit further, Julie. Hang on, let me just pull a bit more up. Come on, keep going, a bit further. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's getting heavy. And this stuff is, although it's only poly, when you're trying to drag up 50 feet, it does become quite heavy, okay?
Yeah.
You all right there?
Yeah.
Can you get it over the peak? That's it. Just hold on to it there for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm going to try from the other end now. So now I just go to the other end and hopefully pull this one up over.
Hold on.
generally it slides over really easily, but it's getting it to the peak. Now I've got to work off the floor here. Just work it up. This is where the third person is nice. We don't have 3 people, there's just the 2 of us. We'll manage. As I say, I've done this a few times. Can you go a bit further, Julie? Oh, you're off the end of the scaffold. I said, if you can just just try and pull it tight to you if you can. No? Okay, that's it, you got it. Yeah, hold on, I just got a lot of weight here at the moment now. There we go. Now I can get up the step ladder. No, just hold on a sec, because you'll pull me off the ladder.
Wouldn't want to do that.
And now it starts sliding up over. It's on. Well, it's only pinned down at the moment. Just pinned down the 4 corners. Put wiggly wire at one end over the top. Now I've got to take off the temporary one from this lower end.
And we apologise for not showing the second skin covering. I don't know if you can hear that, but the wind has picked up a little bit in the tops of the trees. A little bit desperate to get this second one on.
The second one's always a bit of a challenge because you don't have access to the middle of the sheet as you're pulling it up. But actually this one went up over really easily. So it's on fairly square. It's not too bad actually. But yeah, so we'll go on, get this anchored down properly. And then next stage. It's a Rottweiler. Hey boy, what you doing? You old fart. Was he 13? 14?
14 next birthday.
14 next birthday. Biggest, softest Rottweiler we've ever had. We've had I don't know what we've had now, 4 or 5 of them. This is a big softie. He didn't read the correct manual. A little tip, when you are putting the cover on the sides, once you've tightened up the 4 corners, start somewhere in the middle. Doesn't have to be exact, but make sure you go alternate sides. Because otherwise what will happen is you'll pull it tight all one side, and then when you try and come back the other side to tighten this side up, you'll find you've twisted it and you'll have creases in it, and if you've gone really crazy, you'll have no polythene left on this side. So do alternate sides, whether you're using battens to hold it down or whether you're using wiggly wire like I'm doing here. And again, the secret for us with this blown poly is not to over tighten it. So it's just a case of pushing it in, let my knee off the poly that I had it on, and then just literally wiggle it up and down along its length. And if you haven't pulled the poly too tight, it actually goes in quite nicely. You'll know if you've got the polythene too. That's totally attached. But it's not going anywhere. Must be nearly lunchtime.
Your stomach calling?
Yeah. Let go. Let go. No, let go. Let go of the frisbee. Yeah, Timo. Oh God, I'm not getting involved in that. And she's off. He may be old, he may be slow, but he'll just keep plodding away, walking around in circles. He either takes it back to his bed or he takes it back